Richard Goodall wasn't the kind of person you'd expect to see on a national stage. For more than 2 decades, he lived a simple life working as a school janitor in Indiana, greeting students, cleaning hallways, and quietly humming songs as he went about his day. There was no spotlight, no grand ambition for fame, just a man who loved music. When he stepped onto the stage of America's Got Talent, he carried that same humility with him. What happened next felt almost cinematic. As he began singing "Don't Stop Believin'," the room shifted. His voice wasn't just technically good. It was sincere, warm, and deeply human. Within moments, the audience leaned in, captivated not by spectacle but by authenticity. It was the kind of performance that reminds people why shows like this exist in the first place. In a world full of polished performers, Richard stood out simply by being real. That contrast made his moment unforgettable and marked the beginning of a journey that would inspire millions across the country. The moment that changed everything. When Richard finished singing, there was a brief pause, the kind that only happens when something truly special has just occurred. Then the applause erupted. Among the judges, Heidi Klum was visibly moved. Without hesitation, she stood up, praised his performance, and hit the golden buzzer. Golden confetti filled the air as Richard stood there in disbelief, overwhelmed with emotion. It wasn't just a television moment, it was deeply human. A man who had spent years working behind the scenes was suddenly being seen, celebrated, and appreciated on a massive scale. Viewers at home felt it too. Clips of his audition spread rapidly online, gathering millions of views and heartfelt comments. People weren't just impressed, they were touched. His story resonated because it felt familiar. Many saw in him a reflection of themselves, hardworking, overlooked, yet full of untapped potential. That golden buzzer didn't just send him to the next round, it changed the trajectory of his life and reminded audiences everywhere that extraordinary talent can come from the most ordinary places. Winning hearts and the competition. As the competition progressed, Richard continued to win over audiences week after week. He didn't rely on flashy production or dramatic reinvention. Instead, he stayed consistent, singing with honesty and letting his natural warmth shine through. By the time the finale arrived, he wasn't just a contestant, he was a favorite. When host Terry Crews announced his name as the winner of season 19, the celebration felt earned and genuine. Confetti fell once again, but this time it marked not just a standout performance, but a complete journey. His victory wasn't about perfection, it was about connection. Viewers saw someone who didn't chase fame, but embraced an opportunity when it came. That distinction mattered. His win became more than a personal achievement. It became a symbol of perseverance and late-blooming success. Across the country, people celebrated not just what he did on stage, but what he represented. The idea that it's never too late to be seen, heard, and appreciated for who you truly are. Life beyond the spotlight. After the excitement of the show faded, Richard made a choice that surprised many, but also made perfect sense. He returned home to Indiana and continued working part-time as a janitor. For him, it wasn't about holding on to the past, it was about staying grounded. Fame hadn't changed his priorities. He still valued routine, community, and the simple joy of everyday life. At the same time, he began exploring new opportunities in music, releasing original songs and performing at events. His approach was steady and thoughtful, not rushed or driven by pressure. This balance between normalcy and new opportunity became one of the most admirable parts of his story. Instead of chasing every spotlight, he chose authenticity. Fans appreciated that even more. It reinforced the idea that success doesn't have to mean losing yourself. In Richard's case, it meant expanding his life while staying true to its roots, a rare and refreshing path in an industry often defined by constant change and reinvention. Simon Cowell's genuine reaction. Simon Cowell is known for his critical eye and reserved demeanor. Over the years, he has built a reputation for honesty, rarely offering praise unless it is truly deserved. That's what made his reaction to Richard so meaningful. During the audition, Simon didn't interrupt or critique. He simply listened. His expression softened, and by the end, he was clearly impressed. While he didn't press the golden buzzer, his respect for Richard was evident. Throughout the competition, he continued to support him, often highlighting the sincerity of his performances. Simon has always valued authenticity, and Richard embodied that completely. Their connection wasn't dramatic or overly emotional. It was rooted in mutual respect. Simon recognized something real, and that recognition carried weight. For viewers familiar with his judging style, that quiet approval spoke volumes. It reinforced the idea that genuine talent doesn't need embellishment. Sometimes all it takes is a voice, a story, and the courage to share both with the world. Separating rumors from reality. As Richard's popularity grew, so did online speculation. Some social media posts and videos began suggesting negative outcomes, claims about regret, hardship, or hidden truths. However, none of these rumors are supported by credible sources. There are no verified statements from Simon Cowell or any major outlet confirming such narratives. In fact, interviews and reports consistently show the opposite. Richard has expressed gratitude, happiness, and a sense of fulfillment since his win. These rumors highlight a broader issue with modern media consumption, the tendency to amplify dramatic or negative stories even when they lack evidence. It's easy for misinformation to spread, especially when it's packaged in emotional or attention-grabbing ways. But in Richard's case, the facts remain clear. His journey after the show has been positive and steady. By focusing on verified information, we not only protect the truth, but also preserve the integrity of a story that deserves to be celebrated, not distorted. Staying grounded in success. One of the most remarkable aspects of Richard's journey is how little he has changed. Despite national recognition and financial success, he continues to live with humility and purpose. He often speaks about gratitude toward his supporters, his community, and the opportunity he was given. This grounded perspective has become a defining feature of his story. While many reality show winners struggle with the transition after fame, Richard approached it with patience and clarity. He didn't rush into major decisions or try to reinvent himself overnight. Instead, he focused on what mattered most, staying connected to his values and continuing to share his love for music. This approach not only helped him navigate his new reality, but also strengthened the admiration people felt for him. In a world where fame can easily overwhelm, Richard's steady and thoughtful path stands out as a powerful example of how to handle success with grace and authenticity. A story that still inspires. Richard Goodall's journey is more than a television success story. It's a reminder of something deeper. It shows that talent can exist anywhere, that dreams don't have deadlines, and that authenticity still matters. His rise from a quiet life to national recognition didn't rely on gimmicks or controversy. It relied on truth, effort, and heart. Even now, his story continues to inspire people from all walks of life. Whether it's someone pursuing a long-delayed passion or simply trying to find confidence in themselves, Richard's example resonates. He didn't become someone new. He allowed the world to finally see who he had always been. And perhaps that's why his story endures. It isn't just about winning a competition. It's about being recognized, staying grounded, and proving that sometimes the most extraordinary journeys begin in the most ordinary places.